Hey guys, welcome back to part 3 of the video series where we're talking about reliability issues for men. So, you can have better bedroom performances. We're talking about impotence, erections, erectile dysfunctions, why you are not where you want to be when it comes to being able to get up and perform like you want to without any issues. So this is the third of 10 videos. Please check out the first 2 because like all the videos, there's going to be some nugget in there that's going to change the way you think and the way you behave. And of course, that's going to change your sexual performance. So today we're going to be talking about patterns. And patterns are really important for a great number of reasons, and one of the most important being is it's you. That's what happens. Everybody has a pattern, and we're gonna break that down. But hey, my name is Brian Ayers, aka Uncle B, and for the last 20 years, I've been working with hundreds of guys just talking about their sexual performance and what is working, what is not working. And what I've discovered over the years is that everybody has their own patterns, their own habits. And a lot of times you're not even aware that you're doing it. You're not aware that you're doing something wrong. You're just floating along and just, all of a sudden you're not working, you're not performing the way that you've always did before. And, it could settle in and you've been not performing for a while. So we're going to get you away from that situation. So please make sure to check out all the videos. And of course, if you like what you hear, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. What I will be doing is turning this information into a book so we can spread this out so more guys can have better, healthy relationships. So with that said, let's go ahead and hop on into these patterns. So as far as patterns are concerned, here's a question for you. If you're a church going person, have you ever gone to church and you see people in the same pews every time? Or you go to a certain place and you sit in the same place every time. Even if you're just daily habitual things, like you come home and the first thing you do is start playing video games because you're stressing out from work, you just want to play some video games to relax. Everybody has patterns, and sometimes you may be doing something damaging to yourself because of a pattern that you have that you weren't aware of. And sometimes you have to start looking at installing new patterns to take the old patterns' place. Now, when we're talking about patterns, basically we're talking about habits. I want you to imagine your habits as a super highway. It's something you've been doing for years. For a quick example, I didn't realize until someone told me this that they observed every time I go over to my parents' house, I walk in the side door, the kitchen is right there, go straight to the kitchen. I'm looking in the refrigerator like, and they were like, you realize you do this all the time. Every time you come over, I was like, oh. So yes, you have some patterns that you've instilled over time. And a lot of times it's hard to stop patterns. It's hard to stop habits because your brain has created a habit superhighway that constantly you're just going down. You don't even have to think about it because, the road is there. When you want to change a habit, it's like all of a sudden you have to go off to the side and, there's woods over here. It's not a superhighway. It's a road with bumps and tree stumps and all types of stuff that makes it difficult to get off this easy to ride on superhighway. That's the reason why your brain likes it. It's the reason why all these people get onto a metro and, there's a train coming and nobody just falls onto the tracks. Your brain is pre-wired to make sure you stay safe. So as long as your habit or your pattern, even if it's not good for you, if immediately you feel safe, then your body's like, oh, okay, well, that's the solution I was looking for. I'm just looking to be safe. I'm not thinking this through too hard. That's where, this information comes in so you can start thinking like, oh, this pattern is wrong. Let me start changing it. So let's talk about the main sexual health problems. It's really sort of simple and not at the same time. I like to break it down just into 3 parts. We're talking about sleep, eat, and exercise. When we're talking about sleep, we're talking about not only your resting, but your meditations and your stress management. When we're talking about eating, we're talking about type of food you eat, what you drink, and also what you smoke. We're talking about anything that you're consuming. Also medications, whether it's a syringe, anything that's going into the chemical bag that is called your body. That's the consumption. That's the second one. In exercise, you could be exercising in a way that's detrimental to you, not just maybe not for your health wise, but in terms of your sexual performance. It can cause some problems. And just when you exercise, how you exercise, the type of exercise that you're doing, all of those things make a difference. And of course, whether or not you exercise or not, All of these three things are the main patterns that need to be examined and looked at. I mean, what do you think? You know, if you were to score yourself right now, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, are your patterns working for you? Obviously, if you're not getting the erections that you want, then the patterns aren't working for you. So, you know, your patterns and your sexual performance score, we talked about in video 2, actually going to just mirror each other. If you're a 7 or 8, depending on the day, well, your patterns have created you being a 7 or 8, depending on the day. Throughout these video series, we're going to break down each one of the 3 main components in terms of what you eat, your sleeping, and the type of exercise. And we're going to break those out. So, you know, right now we're just talking about, just want you to recognize that you have to change these. And here are a couple of hints on how to change. Okay, when it comes to changing, and I'm going to go over this more in depth later on in the video series, but because it's so important, because we're trying to change your mind. It isn't just like, oh, we need to change, you know, obviously it's to change what you're doing, but in order to do that, we have to change your mind. And the first thing we have to change, maybe, it depends on you, obviously, for all of this, is your belief. It's like, if you believe that you cannot be in shape, well, that overrules everything. And so I want to tell you right now, I don't know if I'm the first person to tell you this, but you're a human. And as a human, you can be anything. I'm 5'10", I could be 5'10", 110 pounds, or 5'10", 510 pounds. I don't want to be either one of those, but the point is your body can adapt to what you're doing, so you can change. Your age doesn't matter. You know, when you have guys who, like, they've been working out for a long period of time and they're at 65, 67, whatever the age is, and someone who isn't. These people have the opportunity to do it. One thing I just want to touch on right quick is that whole thing of nature and nurture. Nature is, you know, for as far as your sexual health is concerned, is the first 21 years. That's when your body is building up. Testosterone is powering you to get to, you know, whatever size you are at this point. That's the nature. Everything after that is nurture, because you're going to start losing, you know, testosterone and other things that, you know, that process of aging. You can slow that entire process down by your nurture. Your nurture is the patterns that you do over years, over days, over hours, over seconds. The more you're locked into these patterns, the better it is. And the first thing is to believe that you can change. You can. And the second thing to do is to, in order to reinforce the belief that you need to change and that this thing will work for you, whatever it is, if it's the sleeping, the diet, if you have drinking issues, things like that, you have to change. What's the saying? If you knew better, you do better. So the more information you have, for example, with me, I wanted to cut down on the amount of meat I was consuming. I started looking at videos that talked about the effects of meat on the body. And it was like, oh, the more I looked at it, looked at different videos, the more information I got, the easier it became. And that's what you want. That's the reason why I'm giving this information right now, to make it easier for you, because if you know the information, you can roll with it. Really quickly, 3 other things I'm going to be touching on later that can help you with this process. 1, turn it into a game. And the way you turn anything into a game is create an enemy. So if your enemy needs to be, you know, your high school sweetheart or something like that, that you just pissed you off or whatever it is, turn it into a game so that you can have some fire in order to change your patterns. There's a reason why I want to change this pattern. And also look at doing a diary. When I say a diary, I'm not talking about, you know, if you want to do your emotions, whatever, that's fine. I'm talking about what are the patterns that you have and what are the patterns that you need to break. If you start following a diary, you'll see it over months and days and weeks. So you'll be able to, like, oh, I didn't realize I was doing that, which is causing this, which is causing that. Oh, that's my pattern. Like I always say, if you like what you heard, hit like, subscribe to the channel, comment below. We want to hear from you. And here's a question for you. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you think you are with your patterns? Let us know in the comment section below. And, you know, are these patterns helpful? What patterns do you have a question on? Should I change this? Should I change that? Well, hopefully I'll be able to touch on everything in the next upcoming video. So stay tuned for that. Until then, this is Uncle B saying peace out.